your nose, but because I'm apparently green, I do like to know. I did tons of research on this, and y'all, we are sitting on a gold mine. I'm telling you, this is the missing link in our health. My doctor sent me an email. I think I shared it with you guys. He's studying for something like some type of board exam, like to continue with his licensure. And like one of the questions was, it was something about this patient has inflammation and diarrhea in their gut. Like, what would you give them? And probiotic was on there, and it had some other things, and it had peppermint oil on there. And the answer was peppermint oil for them. Like they don't have this, y'all. It's crazy that they don't have this yet. So it's still so new. And again, we are literally sitting on a gold mine, and we have the gift to give people their health back. And I am not exaggerating by an iota, one bit. Like, we have this gift. But you know, the basis of this company are because our products are so amazing. And I would say 80% or more of my team are wholesale customers. I don't know about everybody else, but if you're on my team, I would say that's pretty much it. If we're not taking care of them, there's going to be a very high rate of attrition. They're going to be coming in, they'll give it a little bit, but y'all, just being in healthcare, period, and working with people on a daily basis, if they don't have some sort of accountability and someone checking on them, they will not stick with it. They will not be consistent with it. So it's going to take us to give them that accountability, even that just, hey, how are you loving your products? Hey, have you gotten your products? So it's just so important because they will not stick with it.
Okay, and with everything, you have to have a system. You have to have a system. And I am so glad I'm the one saying this because, y'all, I don't write down anything. Like, nothing. I don't write down anything, like, in life. Like, I don't take notes. Like, that's pointless. It would go in my car and, like, fall down. It all is, like, right up here. And I can remember early on telling Julia, I'm like, I just don't write anything down. She's like, we have to change that. So, a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to talk about the system in just a minute. But I want you guys to know the way that I'm kind of, like, I just woke up November 1st and I just kind of had this, like, huge, like, oh my gosh, I'm so focused on personal growth that I've got to get better at training my team on maintaining. And with our new 60-day money-back guarantee for ambassadors, guys, it is so important that you follow up with your wholesale customers and your regular customers, y'all. But wholesale customers, even though on your team page, you need to act like they're not on your team page. Because you think, a lot of people just they'll say, oh, well, I've added them to the team page. They're good. They're getting the information. Y'all, they're probably not checking that at all, okay? So what I want you guys to kind of think about, and again, we're saying things that you may already know, but I want you to think about this. With our 60-day money-back guarantee, that means that an ambassador gets a refund on one group of products. So if they do triplex for the first 4 weeks, and they do triplex again the second 4 weeks, they're going to get one refund on just one of those triplex. They're not going to get the whole thing, okay? I don't know if you all were aware of that. So, why not this? Why don't we put them on triplex for the first month? And why don't we let them, you know, use the rest of that bio cleanse that we know they're not going to use in the whole first month, in month 2? And, you know, maybe they took one probiotic, so let them use another probiotic in month 2 and change up their products. Get them interested in something else. That's what it's all about. If you don't want to get them stiff and stale on triplex, and then month 3 they're calling you canceling because I've got a surplus, okay? So let them go 4 weeks on triplex, then change them up. But how are you going to change them up if you don't know what they need? That's when you have to check in with them 1 week, 2 weeks, and on that 3rd week, you should know what they need. And guys, this is not only for your people. You should be duplicating this down to your team. You should be telling your team that they have to get engaged with their people, especially their wholesale ambassadors, and they have to get them interested in new products. Now, am I saying they don't need to be on triplex? Okay, maybe the next month they can go back to, you know, the triplex or whatever, but we've got to get them, you got to work with that 60-day money-back guarantee, because now, you know, they can get a refund on the triplex, and then they can get a refund on their new products. So just be aware and just you know, work like that. Now here's the system. I want you guys to get a calendar, and this is coming from somebody that is not writing anything down. So this works, trust me. I want you to get a calendar, and on your calendar, I want you to go through your back office, do customers first. Let's say you write in red ink for customers. And I want you to block off the Monday through Fridays of every single week. And I want you only to concentrate on those. We're not going to write anything on Saturday and Sunday. Those are days off. But I want you to take your customer list, and I want you to figure out when their auto shipment comes through. If this is 17th, then you're going to write their name on the 15th. If it's the 10th, you're going to write their name on the 8th. I always do 2 days in advance. You could do 3 or 4 days if you want to. But that's going to take a little bit of time kind of finding where their date is. Now, if their date is on the 20th and that's on a Saturday, obviously you're going to come, forward. If their date's on a Monday, they'll go forward on that Thursday or Wednesday. Anyway, and then you're going to do the same thing for your wholesale ambassadors, y'all. That is so important. Your wholesale ambassadors, figure out when their auto shipment goes through. Do the same thing. So you're really going to fill up your calendar with dates from those people, their auto shipments. And why is that important? Now, you're only going to write their name one time. This is one per month, okay? So you've got all these names written down. Y'all, it takes about 5 or 6 minutes. Because typically you're going to have, I know personally I have 6 or 7 names per day. And that takes me 2 seconds. Okay, so-and-so's name. All right, I will pull up voice recording. Hey girl, just want to check in with you, see how things are going. I wanted to mention this product block to you. Have you thought about it? Just things like that, and just really engaging them. How are you? How are you doing? You're going to get some people that don't respond, and that's fine. You've done your job. So at the end of the month, guess what you've done? You have checked in on all of your people. You have made sure they are all happy, because what's the worst feeling? I know personally for me, the worst feeling was getting towards the end of the month and like, dang, I hadn't checked in on my customers. Like, are they happy? And then I have some people, and some of you, you can say this in your head, you don't have to tell me. I have some people that say, if I just don't check in on them, that auto shipment's going to go through, and I'm going to get their 5 points. I really have. But the irony of that is, yeah, you might get it then, but you're not going to get it 4 months from now when they're not happy. So you really want to make that contact with them and make sure they are happy. And that may not happen in the first month of products. So find them new ones. And if that doesn't work, find some other ones, or figure out regimen or troubleshoot. And you're not going to do that if you don't check in.
I do have one more thing to say. When we're talking about making them happy, and they say this all the time, happy customers make the best ambassadors. Happy wholesale ambassadors, like Lindsay, may hop on and be a diamond one day. Like, it is important. You do not know what you have at your fingertips with these people. You have got to make them love these products. Give them every chance available.
What's the statistic like? I think it's like 12. This products don't work for 12% of people, or some like crazy low statistic. So I think when you go in to help them and troubleshoot with them, if you have that in the back of your mind, I think Amber Miller did a really good video on Angie's Tips on the Top. I can go back and look at that. But she had that belief in the product, so she was kind of always say, I'm going to fight for my customers because I know the products work. And so it's just, once you get them, that's it's kind of like getting married. You got to hold on to them. You got to keep courting them, keep decking them. You got to keep fighting for them, because you know they work, and they just take that one little tweak. Oh gosh, now it all makes sense. So,
and like Brooke was saying, they don't have to do triplex. There's a ton of products, y'all. They don't have to just do triplex. I have a customer who will not do slim. She hates it. She had issues eating in the past. She does not like that it suppresses her appetite. And I'll say, you know what, that's okay. We have vitamins, we have all these things. Yes, slim is our major product, but they don't have to do a certain set. We are all different. We are all, uniquely made. You just have to find what's best for them, and guess what? That is our job to do that. Because they're not going to try, and they don't know. They're not educated on it. They bought some products, and that's all they know.
Who was a preferred customer and became an ambassador after you got the products? Who was a wholesale customer and had no desire to share whatsoever, and then decided to share after you liked the products? So I think we're so very few people sign up to do the business only. Like, most of us signed up, and I was a preferred customer for 5 months before I ever signed up to be an ambassador. So it took Rosalind saying, okay, so we also have this, and we also have this. And I was like, oh, we need that. We don't know how to probiotic. And no, we post about it all the time, and y'all think that everybody on your Facebook page knows what Plexus is. But y'all have people that have followed me for 3 years. And our pastor's daughter the other day, who's my friend and has followed me for 3 years, came up to me and goes, okay, so what is it exactly? Because I can't take anything with caffeine in it. I was like, and do you not read what I post? And she's like, I just scroll past them all. I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. So, I mean, you think your Facebook friends know what you do or what Plexus is, and they have no idea that we have a probiotic, that we talk about gut health, that we talk about magnesium, what BioCleanse really does, and that it won't pull you to a bathroom. And like, they don't know all these things. They don't know we have a children's chewable vitamin. They don't know that there's aloe vera and X Factor. And if you're not having these conversations with your customers, you know, every single customer should be on an omega, a multivitamin, and a probiotic. Doctors say that. So why wouldn't they be on ours? Why wouldn't they buy it from you? Do they know that you have those 3 products? If they only think you have weight loss products, you're gonna sorely disappoint them. If you are not telling them about those 3 other products that everybody should be on anyways, why would they just buy it from you instead of from a grocery store? So it's just really important to make sure that you're not, you know, that they're buying Triplex and you're like, oh, they've been buying Triplex for 4 months, I'm sure they're happy. Couldn't they add X Factor to that and go, oh, I had no idea y'all had a multivitamin too and an omega? I need those 2 things. But you're not talking to them because you're just happy with, you're just satisfied with them ordering every single month. It's really important to have some kind of customer service.
And I love Ivy. Ivy got her money back several years ago. So she was a customer and got her money back and then started again. And like she's super close to gold now. So you never know.
Okay, Melissa is going to quickly go over some objections for products.
Okay, so I hear this a lot. I don't know why I became the objection girl. I think it's that red coming on. Blocking objections for customers or wholesale ambassadors that fall off. I mean, we all have them. We say, oh, I've got so many white lines. I've got so many white lines. I'll tell you the number one problem with white lines. They do not fall in love with the products. That is the number one problem with white lines. If you can get these people to fall in love with the products, they are never going to leave. How many of you did not fall in love with the products, you just wanted money? No one in here. Okay. Everyone in here, you didn't fall in love with the products?
I just signed up to sell it.
There you go. But now you love the products. Right. So if you didn't believe in these products and you didn't love these products, would you be sitting here right now? Absolutely not. So if you can get these people to fall in love with the products, then they're going to stick around. But what does that take? That takes you checking in on them. That takes you bugging them sometimes. I mean, messaging them. I know when someone signs up for me and I kind of know that they're going to be a wholesale ambassador, I message them 1 time a week for the first month or 2. And I say, hey, how's it going? Tell me, are you drinking your water? How are you feeling? What kind of changes are you noticing? I know I'm trying not to bug you, but I really want to check in on you. And setting up realistic expectations for these people before they start the products is absolutely huge. If you're telling them, oh my gosh, you're going to lose weight, you're going to feel fabulous. Okay, well then they're going to think that they expect that within the first week or 2. That's not realistic. Some people it's going to take, like you were talking about, it's going to take a month, it's going to take 2 months, it might take 3 months, it might take 5 months. But setting up those realistic expectations, informing them about die-off, informing them about the changes that their body is going to go through when they first start these products or could possibly go through is going to be huge for you keeping them around. Setting up expectations about what you want them to eat or what they need to be eating to fuel their body, how much water they need to be drinking. Those are things. And those are things that are going to keep these people around and keep them from just falling off the wagon. If you do not check in on them, they will become a white line on your team. Period. End of story. My customers quit. You cannot get discouraged when someone quits. Okay, I have people that quit. I had one about a month ago that called me and said, I didn't lose enough weight and these products are not for me. Okay, well I, for one, saw this person drinking Coca-Colas just a couple days before she called me and said this, and I was like, okay, well, it probably didn't work for you because you're still drinking your sodas. Okay, but that's fine, y'all. Some people are not going to put in the time or the effort that it takes to change their health. They just wanted to order these products and they expected it to be a magic pill. You guys have encountered these people all the time. You tell them this over and over again. It's not a magic pill, it's not a magic pill, it's a health system. They still want a microwave answer. We are a microwave society. They want to lose weight like this, okay? Some people are not going to put in effort. You cannot get discouraged because somebody quits, okay? You can try to talk to them and say, all right, what have you got going on? What can I help you with? Can we change up your products a little bit to help you get the desired results? But y'all, if they're not willing to put in the effort, there is absolutely nothing you can do. Guess what? What's our favorite quote? bless and release, let them go, okay? Let them go. There's nothing you can do about it. Go find somebody else that wants these products and needs these products, and quit getting your head tied up around that one person that could not hack it with either the products or the business.
I have a quick question. So if you're like, I know a lot of us did the pumpkin thing for Halloween, so you send out the samples. I mean, obviously they're not gonna, I mean, you might have some appetite suppressant, like immediate results, but, you know, my best friend in Iowa, I was like, you know, I'm gonna send you all this stuff, you know, some samples. Well, 2 days after, you know, she took them, she's like, you know what, I don't lose any weight, and, you know, it's just not really, I'm like, well, that's not the point, you know.
Well, and that's setting up realistic expectations for them. When I send out samples, I let them know, especially of the pink drink, especially of Slim, I say, okay, I just want you to know that I'm sending you 3 days worth of Slim, but number one, you're probably not going to feel very different in 3 days. And number two, this is really for you to just see how it tastes more than anything. And I really don't send out samples very often. I mean, what I did for my pumpkin thing was like the first time I had to send out a sample in a really, really, really long time, because it is not an accurate representation of what our products can do. That's setting up realistic expectations. And when you do that, if you give someone a sample, say, hey, I'm just giving you the sample and I just want you to see how it tastes, rather than, oh my goodness, this one sample right here is going to change your life. Oh my gosh, you're going to love it. No, they're not. They're not.
And with the tasting, if you do a 3 or 7 day sample, make them tell you the first day. Like, I messaged them and say, okay, what day are you going to start this on? On Tuesday. I'll start on Tuesday. Okay, I'm going to call you on Tuesday and see what you think. And I actually had a girl this week, and I know this is rare, say I don't. Does anyone not like the flavor of it? Okay, my husband hates the flavor, my mom hates the flavor. They both take it every single day. But she goes, I just don't think I can drink this every day. I said, okay, tomorrow, let's add lemon to it and see if you like it better. The next day, let's add lime to it. Real lime juice and see if you like it better. Let's do it warm. Let's do it cold. Let me work on your 7 day sample, and every day let's do it a different way and see if you like it better any of those 7 days. Add coconut LaCroix to it, see if you like that better. And so for 7 days, we worked on which way she likes it the best. And that way, by the end of the 7 day sample, she's like, okay, you're right. I can drink this with lemon juice in it every day, and I can totally take it, and it's not a problem. If I drink it with lemon juice and cold, it's like a lemonade. I can do that. That tart helps it. And so I was using a 7 day sample to figure out how am I going to get this in her every single day so that she will buy a 30-day supply and drink it like this every day. Lemon juice is great for her. It's all these things. I'm not saying add, sugar to it, or once you mix it with, some sweet tea, or alcohol. I'm not saying like do it in a bad way. I'm saying let's figure out a way to drink it every single day. There might be some people that do that. I'm not one there. I'm just saying, like what Melissa's saying is your 7 day sample, your 3 day sample should be, how do you like this and how can you take it, and can you take it for 3 days? Because if I give you a 3 day sample and you take it 1 day and forget for 2 days and take it again another day and forget for a week before or you lose that third one, you're probably not really invested enough to even take it for 30 days. But if you take it 3 days in a row, you probably will keep taking it. And there is a chance by the end of 3 days they will have less sugar cravings. So say by the end of the 3rd or 7th day, do you feel like you have less sugar cravings or that you might have less inflammation? Or, find out what Slim really does and say, you might start to feel this way. And imagine if you took it for 30 days, how much better your sugar cravings would be, your appetite suppressant. Or just if you have a sweet tooth in the afternoon, that you could take it with after lunch instead of taking it in the morning. If you have a sweet tooth between 2 and 4, drink your Slim at 2 every day, and it might cut that sugar craving. Because it kind of has that sweetness to it anyways, and you're kind of taking care of that, and it'll continue, the chromium will continue to follow through in the afternoon with your sugar cravings. So figure out what worked for them with that trial, and that will turn it around into a purchase. You're not setting them up to lose. Well, I cannot tell you how many times someone has said, well, if I don't lose 20 pounds in the first 30 days, I'm just going to tell you these don't work. I'm like, well, you're probably going to need crack for that. I got nothing. Like, that's unhealthy. Like, no doctor is going to tell you that's a good idea. Whatever you take is going to be in a commercial in a year on a lawsuit. So you don't want to be taking those products.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be taking something that naturally works with your body and helps you. And I really think managing expectations, like Melissa's talking about, is going to be the number one thing for, let's not tell people they're gonna lose a massive amount of weight in a short period of time. It's just not healthy, it's not realistic.
I will tell you one other thing that I've started doing with people who come to me and say, oh, it's just not working for me. It depends on what they have going on, but if they have something significant going on and there's a Facebook page out there that's Plexus and whatever, I add them to that page, and I say, before you quit, go on this page and ask other people what it's done for them. They have the same issues that you have. Go on there and ask them what it's done for them. Then they're not just listening to me, and I'm not just selling them a product. They're talking to other people who've had the same issues that they have had, and they're actually getting a completely different side of the story, but they're telling them the exact same thing I'm telling them. And I always tell them, wait it out, wait it out, wait it out.
I know we need to move on to the next thing, but what Brooke said too is if your customer says, I want to sleep better at night, and you've got them on their calendar, in parentheses put sleep. And when you talk to them and say, how are you feeling? They go, well, I haven't lost any weight. You're like, whoa, we did not talk about weight loss. You said you wanted to sleep better. How are you sleeping? Well, I'm actually sleeping really well. Okay, so it's done what you wanted it to do. Now you're telling me you want to lose weight as well. Let's adjust your regimen and see if we can get you there. But that's not what you said you originally wanted to take this for. You wanted inflammation. You wanted to, go to the bathroom every day. You wanted some energy. If you're feeling those things, it has met your original expectations. Now let's adjust expectations for weight loss, or let's adjust expectations for something else that you now want the products to do. It may not do all of them the first month. Okay, so are we moving on to the next? Jules?
But our last topic is coaching, and I personally think, when other Jules ask me, why we are a successful team, this is the first thing I say, is coaching. I think we've had a system. I tell y'all all, I did what Andrea told me to do. We had a system in coaching. Very one-on-one. Lindsay, Andrea, and I, all three of us were talking about just one-on-one. We kind of do it a little bit different, the same, because everybody kind of has to figure out their niche. But I think the importance is one-on-one. Even I talked to Sarah Beauregard. Y'all know, what is she? I'm sorry. She's at corporate. I'm not green. I don't know details. But we had this conversation just about coaching teams versus one-on-one coaching, and I kind of felt validated that even corporate like the one-on-one coaching. So I'm gonna let Andrea, just for time's sake, close this out, and because you can get training from me and Lindsay all the time on coaching. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to switch with y'all.
Tell us your
sit somewhere steady that I don't fall off. Okay, so this is probably going to run over time on the video, so sorry video people, and we'll get to the document. But I want to talk about, I need y'all to pull up your back office. Does everyone know how to get into their back office? If you don't, ask the person next to you. Because I don't know how to get everybody into their back office with their friends. But if you can get into your back office, go ahead and get into it. If you can't, we can just write down some notes. This is how I coach my team. I will call my level 1, and Julia has 2 people between us, but I could call Julia and say, Julia, what were your numbers in September? What were your numbers in October? What do you want your numbers to be this month? If you don't know how to find those things in your back office, you need to know how to run your own business. I hate to tell each of y'all, we are not your bosses. I'm sure you actually appreciate that. You do not owe me anything, and in the same way in return, I don't owe you anything. But I want you to be the very best ambassador you can be, and I want each one of y'all in Maui. I mean, how much fun would it be if we were all in Maui together next year? A lot of fun. I promise you, the more people you have, the more fun it is. But you won't know if you don't run your own business. And you run your own business. Does anyone here actually own their own business outside of Plexus? Okay, if you don't know your reports, if you don't know your P&L, if you don't know what you're losing in inventory, if you don't know these things, you will never be successful in your own business. If you don't know how many people you have, someone was talking about CrossFit. Who here CrossFits? Okay, but if you own a CrossFit gym, if you don't know how many people are coming in regularly versus sporadically, you can't run a business like that. This is the exact same way. If you don't know how many points you had in September and October, and if they're growing or going backwards, then you can't project for November. If you don't know how many people your team added in September and October, you can't project that for November. You have to know your own points. And I have a document that I go through with my team. So what I start with what were your points the last couple of months? What is your goal for this month? And then how do you plan to achieve that goal? So if last month you, if you had 60 points in September, 75 points in October, and your goal is to hit 100 points and go gold this month, okay, well that requires some people. That requires all the people that have already been commission qualifying to stay on, which we talked about retention, but it also requires you to get some new people to start commission qualifying as well. You need to know what that number is. You need to know how many people you need. And so then it goes into how many people did your team add the last couple of months. So if your team last month only added 3 people, that's at the most 15 more points this month. So you're not there. If you got 70 people.
She is not facts oriented, remember? She is not.
Actually, I'm not, but I love an Excel spreadsheet and I love points. I love that office actually.
And
Business oriented.
so that's team-wide, but y'all, I'm going to be really honest. If you personally did not add ambassadors the last 2 months and you want your team to grow this month, you're doing your team a disservice. If you are not personally adding level 1 ambassadors, you will not go to the next level. You cannot depend on somebody else. If I sat back and said, whew, Julia's team's growing, I'm just going to take a vacation for a couple of months, I don't need to add anybody. I mean, it's great, but her team is going deeper and deeper. I have level 9s, 10s, 11s. I don't get paid on anything past a 7. So if I stop, my team grows, but at very small rates at the bottom. But if I add new level 1s, I'm adding new, fast people at my 1s, 2s, and 3s, and that keeps my momentum going. You cannot, it is almost inconsiderate to rely on your team to get you to the next level. You need to be the person adding the most people on your team. You need to be the person working the hardest. You cannot ask your level 1s, are they going silver every month, if you aren't at least busting it to go silver every single month. And by going silver, it means you're adding 3 new level 1 ambassadors every single month. If you don't know how to get there, we'll get there. Sorry, I'm staring at y'all, but I'm staring at the screen. How many ambassadors did you add in October? You need to know what your goal is this month. If your goal is not 3 new level 1 ambassadors, you need to get with your upline and find out why that's not your goal this month. Customers. Are you growing your customer base? You will grow your ambassador base as you grow your customer base, as your PV goes up. If you're not hitting $500 in PV on a monthly basis, and yet you want to grow a team of thousands of people, I promise you, you need to have at least 5 to 10 customers at all times, because those customers will fall in love with the products. If you do what we just talked about, those customers will turn into ambassadors that then grow. But if you're not getting new customers and you're just relying on those same few that you've had, again, you're doing a disservice to your business. So we've talked about your team adding people and going up in points. We've talked about you personally adding people. We've talked about your PV. And now we're going to talk about what kind of training does your team need. So I asked my level 1s, what training does your team need? What are they missing? It could be something as simple as they don't know where to find new people. It could be something as simple as they don't really understand the compensation plan. They don't understand the potential with this company. You need to decide what your team needs, what they're missing, and then you need to find ways to give that to them. I have no idea what that thing means. What is your daily method of operation? What are you actually doing with your business Monday through Friday or Tuesday through Saturday, whenever you decide to work it? This doesn't mean what do you sit down and do for 4 hours straight. This means what do you do in those nooks and crannies? What do you do in the 15 minutes that you are, that you get up earlier than your kids in the morning? What do you do in those 10 minutes that you sit in the grocery store parking lot, really dreading going into the grocery store and deciding what you really maybe don't need so you don't have to go in? I don't know about y'all, but I do that. And so I'd rather message someone than actually go in the grocery store. And I do that all the time. That's a great place. Car lines, we can't, I get to car lines about 10 minutes early, so I kind of get to the front of the line, so I'm not in like a really long line. But I'm sitting there for 10 minutes before car lines open. There's nothing else to do but message people. You can message 10 people with 1-minute voice messages while you're sitting in car lines for 10 minutes. That you've doubled your 531, the 5 part of it. Who's your accountability partner? We talked about the dynamic duo. That's a really big thing if you don't have an accountability partner, and that could just be your upline. You messaging your upline and saying, hold me accountable to 3 new level 1s. Be prepared. Have you ever had someone hold you accountable to what you eat? Like my husband, I'll be like, don't let me eat bread tonight. And so I'll reach for the bread platter, and he's like, you said, I'm like, don't tell me. You know, like, you think you want them to hold you accountable, but you really don't. Like, be honest. It will hurt my feelings when you call me and say, what have you done today? But please call me and say, what have you done today? But but there's a chance, you gotta be honest, you will get defensive if you've done nothing and your upline calls you. But you need to be honest with yourself that you asked them to hold you accountable. So say, you know what, you're right, tomorrow hold me accountable to doubling it because I didn't get to it today. What?
The Zoom went off.
It's okay.
Oh. Are you helping your team set their goals? And that means, are you doing this with your team? Do your level ones have goals? Do you know what they are, and are you helping them achieve them? My greatest joy is my team getting to the next level. I love these girls. I love doing life with them. We've gone to Maui. Some of us went to LA for a couple of days. We just got back from Leaders Retreat. We love spending time together, traveling together, conventions, a blast. These are my people. And I didn't know them all before Plexus, but these are the people Brooke and I will sit there and go back and forth, and I didn't know Brooke outside of Plexus, and there's no reason for me to, other than we've become dear friends. Do you know your team well enough to love them to the next level? Do you love them? I want everybody on my team who wants to be a diamond to get to diamond. That's my goal. I reached the top of the company. I could stop, sit back, put my feet up, and literally live off of our residual income off of what we've done so far. But I'm not done until everybody on my team who wants to be diamond is diamond. That's why I'm sitting in Alabama on a Sunday night instead of sitting in the hotel room, ordering room service and watching a movie.
We may have had
which we didn't maybe think about.
I just saw your post where you're saying, so I would.
Yeah, that place is awesome. But it just, but this matters. Spending time with you helps them, and I love them, and I want them to get to the next level, and I want to get to know y'all better. I have no idea what's going on there. Okay,